Guys, welcome to Pinax 24. And the issue of xenophobic attacks happening in South Africa, it's more or less like South Africans who live outside South Africa are, taking the issue more personal because it's more or less like South Africa has been on the news for months now, and it's actually to them, it's just something looking good. Now, a particular woman who lives in Germany, who happens to be a South African, she lives and works in Germany, has taken the issue more personal. According to her, when you go to Ireland, anytime you meet any African and you ask him or her, where are you coming from? The first country on their lip is actually South Africa. And you go on to ask them, can you speak any of the South African language? Which parts of South Africa are you coming from? And they are lost. So from her, it's more or less like it's something that has to be taken more seriously because she thinks that the immigration laws of the country, South Africa, has to be taken a keen look at because it's just really not looking good for them at all. Because some of these people are involved in a whole lot of issues, theft cases and robbery cases and all that. So for it to come from them that they're coming from South Africa, it's more or less like establishing the image of South Africa. Let's take a look at this video.
I met a person today, and this person said to me that they were South African. This is actually going to sound really weird considering the state of events happening in South Africa, but this person said to me that they were South African, and I asked what their name were, and they told me what their name was. The name itself did not sound South African. I know South Africa is a very diverse country, etc., etc. And I was hoping that this person would say that they are either a naturalized citizen or their parents are immigrants, and therefore, because of their parents, they were born in South Africa and became a South African citizen. But then I asked this person, where in South Africa are you from? They said they were from the Western Cape. I then proceeded to ask, what languages do you speak? They said they speak Afrikaans and German. Okay. So then I proceed to ask, which of the other South African languages is your native language? They said they were Zulu. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Because then at that point I'm thinking, okay, first of all, you don't look South African, and I know this makes me feel terrible, but you don't look South African. But like I said, you could be a naturalized citizen or having parents which are immigrants, which makes you South African then, right? But secondly, your name is neither Zulu nor a common name in South Africa, but okay. Your accent also doesn't say South African, but okay. Then I speak to them in Xhosa, okay, because Xhosa, Zulu, very similar. They dismissed what I was saying and proceeded to answer something else that someone else was saying. I then, for some reason, we got into a conversation about their auntie who's Xhosa, and then they say my auntie is Xhosa, and then she likes to speak very Xhosa to me, but whenever she speaks Xhosa, she's very deep and very intense. And I'm like, but if you're Zulu, you would understand some things that a Xhosa person was saying. Doesn't make sense to me that you wouldn't understand anything that a Xhosa person was saying. The argument could be that they are South African and they were born in a different country, except they said they grew up in South Africa. Which begs the question, why are you lying about being South African? Because at this point, I got into the point where I realized that this person is actually lying about being South African. But then I'm like, why? Why are you lying? Because there is nothing about this person that says they are South African. Not their name, not the way they look, not their accent. I feel like for me, the accent was a dead giveaway. That you were neither born nor grew up in. If you grew up in South Africa, like, let's say you arrived in South Africa in your teenage years, which then would make sense. Because if you arrived in South Africa as a kid, then you probably would have a South African accent. No. This person has an accent which I would place in like maybe Zambia or Uganda, somewhere there, but definitely not South Africa. So then this is bothering me so much, because why are you lying about being South African? And you are burying yourself further in this lie by saying that you're Zulu. And I don't want to be asking them this question, because they already told me that somebody had asked them if they were South African because of their accent. And I'm like, fam, the way you speak about South Africa and your mannerism in everything, you're not South African. But I feel xenophobic just thinking about that, you know?
So, guys, moving on, a particular illegal migrant, or an alleged illegal migrant who happens to be a Mozambican in South Africa, the moment she heard that illegal this anti-immigrant protesters were approaching her salon, she began to destroy his properties, create commotion there, and a whole lot happened in the salon that you actually would want to look at this particular incident. Let's take a look at it.
Okay, keep on izinto zeni lethi isikhe sasebhekile.
Nifuna nifonele lo bhuti abuya
Ubhuti wenza?
nisikhipha.
Man, ubhuti uphethe isikhe.
Inhlangano yosomabhizinisi emthonjaneni ibihambele izitolo zonke emthonjaneni ngenhloso yokubheka bokufika basaqhubeka nokusebenza kanokuba uhulumeni ke seshilo ukuthi ke ababuyele ke emazweni abo. Lapha esithombeni sakho wesifazana umbono uthatha impahla yakhe ngedluzula ke umonakalo wokuqala khona wesifazana efuna imali engango 100,000 kusihlalo wenhlangano yosomabhizinisi emthonjaneni ethi ngeke kwazi ukuhamba eshiya impahla yakhe ayithenge ngemali engaphezulu ka 100,000 ugcine sehlela ke ku 50,000 nalakhona ke okube inhlanga imuka nomoya ke nalakhona aqhubeke khona ke nokuthi ke abulale impahla yakhe ngaphakathi ngenhloso ukuthi azanelise ke ukuze kwazi ukuthi umoya wakhe ehambe eSouth Africa ke unokuthula.
Nibulale konke namakhabethe nalobo mangifuna kunibulala ezani nesibekile mangasithi
Usihlalo wenhlangano yosomabhizinisi emthonjaneni uchaze kanjena ke umva wesifazane ke sebulalwa waqeda impahla yakhe ke esaluni.
Manje sibona isitolo la ngathi kukhona into evanelezwayo ngathi kukhona okwenzekalayo silandise nawe sibonile futhi la sihlala ukhona ngaphakathi.
Yebo.
Kwenzakalani?
Into ebikhona lapha usisi lo rana isalon, so ke ube noticewe wasefika isikhathi sokuthi avalwe. Usisi ungwa ngaphandle eMozambique. Njoba evala isalon sakhe ke ubese ecelwa ukuthi akahande over kusomabhizinisi omusha ofisa ukurana leya salon ukuze kungaphazamiseki ama-client, kungaphazamiseki nabasebenzi abafisa ukusebenza abangabala emthonjaneni. So ke ubiziwe ukuthi aka-negotiate nosomabhizinisi ofisa ukungena abhekelele impahla yakhe ngaphakathi ukuthi angahanda over impahla yakhe ngamalini kusomabhizinisi. Esikutholile lapho kusurprisile isalon le abafowethu kodwa engekho emgangathweni otheni uthe ufuna 100,000. So mase singena ke sithi sifuna ukubheka lo 100,000 ukuthi into enjani, sathi sicela ukuthi ake kubhalwe phansi each and every item engaphakathi sibone ukuthi ngempela iyawumitha 100,000. Sathola ukuthi no, izinto ezilapha zilingana u10,000 rand. So wasethi lo ozongena ucela ukumnike offer u10,000 rand. unqabileke wathi yena ukhetha ukuphihliza yonke into njengoba benibona ke ephihliza.
Mhlawumbe thina mazakho ongasheshe siphetha ngukhuculula nje idolobha la eMthonjaneni ngicabanga ukuthi nomasipala wala uyathokoza uma unibona esihlalo nenze umsebenzi omuhle manje ngehlangano.
Bafowethu sifisa uMthonjaneni ubuyele kubantu baseMthonjaneni. Kuqina imithetho yaseMthonjaneni. Kuncipha i-drugs ngoba ubona benyakaza kabuhlungu kanjena nje sinamahlebeza ukuthi idleke zabo bengafuna ukuphuma nje kuzidleke zama-drugs ngaphakathi futhi eMthonjaneni. So sifisa ukuthi ke bafowethu akebe sishiyo sekuhlwile sifuna ukulala nathi ekhaya akebe hambe nabo bolala emakubo.
Yes. So jeka sathokoza kakhulu Ningizimu Afrika reporters la eMthonjaneni indaba ze inakho production nginokwatsha #noma ikuphi siyafika.